It's been exactly 1 year since I started this YouTube channel and purchased all this hardware for crypto mining. I bought $12,000 worth of GPUs, CPUs, ASIC miners, all kinds of stuff to start generating, hopefully, passive income with cryptocurrency. If you're new here, I'm Jack from Modern Mining, and every single month I do a profit update on my farm. How much money have I made total? How much money am I making every single day? All the questions that you guys want to know from an outside point of view. So let's take a look at how my farm did in December 2024. Hey guys, quick interruption to talk about today's sponsor, ViaBTC. If you're mining Bitcoin or Litecoin, you're not going to want to miss this. ViaBTC offers a few different ways to boost your mining rewards compared to other pools. First off, ViaBTC offers merged mining. This allows you to mine multiple cryptos at the same time. For example, when mining Litecoin, you will automatically be mining Dogecoin, Bells, Pepe, Junkcoin, and Lucky Coin at the same time. Merge mining is also available on Bitcoin. The second way to earn extra income with ViaBTC is pool referrals. Refer anyone and you can get 10 to 20% of their mining fees. ViaBTC also has an insanely competitive 2-hour payout schedule. So if you aren't already, definitely check out ViaBTC and see if you can increase your mining rewards today. I'll leave a link down below and let's get back to the video. Okay guys, welcome back to another update video. Let's see what's going on that's new with the farm from last month. The first thing being this rig right here is new. It was not here last month. This is a 6-card 3060 Ti 3070 rig. So it is mining Xelis along with the rest of my farm right here. Now Xelis has had some ups and downs over the past month. We're going to discuss that. It's dropped all the way down to about $6.50 right now from a peak in the middle of this month to about $13. So Xelis has definitely had some crazy swings and we'll discuss that in a bit. This right here is my Warthog rig. So this is basically a CPU and GPU mining combination. It is a 3070 and a 5900X, and this makes about $1.20 a day, but we'll check the numbers in a bit. This thing's been pretty nice. One thing I still need to do on this that somebody pointed out is that this fan right here is actually pushing the heat just into this little chamber here. I need to switch that fan so it's exhausting out that side right there. Thank you to whoever pointed that out. That's definitely a valid change. Now, what else do I have here? If you're brand new, I have 3 12-card rigs, all of 3060 Ti's and 3070s, one 3080, maybe that one that's lit up right there. But we'll take a look at these from the front over here, and you can see this rig in the middle is almost all For the Win 3 cards. This rig is awesome. If you want to see how I built this rig, take a look in the top right up there. Very interesting rig. And then the rest are just around the same thing, a bunch of 3060 Ti's and 3070s. So let's take a look at our full power usage down here. Last month, our entire power usage for the whole farm was about 4,600 watts. And right now, we're getting 4,600 watts on just my hardware that's down here. Now let's go upstairs and see what other hardware I have inside, because it is winter time and I have yet to turn my heat on. I'm just using crypto mining only to heat my house, and my garage right now is a comfortable 83. For the heating setup itself, I just have my rig in the corner of the garage, and the heat is kind of ambient in this garage. And then this little fan comes on every so often with a smart outlet and blows heat upstairs into the rest of my house. And a lot of that heat just kind of radiates through the ceiling in there. Now upstairs in the family room, I have a Jazzminer X16Q, which was sent over by Sun Loon. Big shout out to them. This miner is awesome. It uses about 700 watts and just continuously pumps out heat. So this is like my favorite space heater miner ever. It's Wi-Fi. I just post it up right here and it heats basically this entire room all day long, 24/7. Dog's going a little crazy. It does also suck up a lot of dog hair right here. This was recently cleaned and it still gets covered again. So We'll see how much this makes along with all the other miners in a second. First, I just want to show you where they're all located. In the same room here, we have a KS0 Ultra. This is an Ice River Caspa miner, totally silent miner. It basically has no fans on it. It has these two tiny ones that you can barely see, but this thing is basically totally silent and just stays right here mining. And makes very little profit at this point, but we'll check shortly. In my master bathroom here, we have my other KS0 Ultra unit. This one just sits on a block of wood and keeps my bathroom nice and toasty because I hate taking cold showers in the morning. This thing, I was a little nervous about keeping it in a humid environment, but so far it's worked like a champ. This has a little Vonix Wi-Fi adapter so that I don't need to plug in an Ethernet cord. I'll have a link down to that in the description if you're interested. And lastly, in my office, I have two AL0 Lithium ASICs from Ice River. These are relatively silent. The power supply is probably what you're hearing make the most noise right now. These are both slightly overclocked and use probably around 400 watts total. And you can see they are plugged in right there along with a network switch. So let's see how much money all these miners are making and how much I've mined total over the past year. So as you guys can see, I've got miners spread all over my house, and that just helps to distribute the heat to the point where every room is about the same temperature and they're all relatively comfortable. My house is normally anywhere between 70 and 73 degrees, again, without turning on my furnace at all. So that's definitely one of the bigger perks of crypto mining and GPU mining in general. So let's talk about power costs. So we mentioned that downstairs, all of my rigs in the garage are using about 4,600 watts. So let's add those up. 4,600 watts plus our Jazz miner in the family room uses about 700. And then we have two KS0 Ultras, that's 200. And then we'll say another 300 for the AL0 miners for a total wattage of 5,800 watts. So let's see how much are we spending in power every single day. Because if it's 60 bucks and we're only making 20 bucks in crypto, then obviously this whole endeavor is not worth it. But we should be profitable if I've done the calculations correct. So 5,800 watts, 24 hours a day. If we hit calculate here, we can see that that's 139.2 kilowatt hours. And if we multiply that by my power cost, which is 11 cents, we're spending about $15.3 every single day in power, or a monthly power bill of $450, which sounds like a ton, but that's basically it for my whole bill. I don't have to pay an extra 150 bucks for heating or anything like that. So now that we know how much we're spending, let's figure out how much we're earning. K1 pool is my favorite mining pool, and if you aren't already signed up, definitely sign up with my link down below. But K1 pool makes this extremely easy, especially when you mine all your coins directly to K1 pool. It's going to have this handy dashboard that tells you exactly how much you're making every single day. So you can see yesterday, the day before that, we're averaging about $5 per day, and that's mainly between 50 to 60 cents in Caspa. So those two little Caspa miners are still making about 30 cents each. And then we're also making about 1.21 lithium. But unfortunately, that's going to go down because the big AL3 lithium ASICs are just now starting to ship. And that's going to raise the hash rate big time on lithium. Now, the last thing that we're making money off of is Ethereum W, which is our Jazz miner unit. I've had this thing mining to ETH for about the last couple months. And I'm going to wait about 3 months and then switch it to another coin and then switch it to another coin. Basically, those ETH hash miners are pretty nice because they can mine multiple different ETH hash coins, which a lot of ASICs can't say the same. So let's pull up a new calculator here and we'll just add $5 as our profit so far per day. Now we need to look at my GPUs because these values are only for my ASICs. So for my GPUs, we need to go to Viper Pool. This is where all my GPUs are mining Xelis. Xelis has been my favorite GPU mineable coin for about the last 6 months. though this does change a lot based on kind of what's most profitable. For a long time, I did also like Pyron, and then Pyron totally shit the bed. So keep that in mind. I'm definitely don't know everything, but Xelis has already proven to be a much better and all-around project than Pyron, so I shouldn't even be comparing the two. As far as earnings, you can see that in the last 24 hours, I've mined 2 Xelis, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty good yield, and I'm estimated about 1.8 over the next 24 hours. But we'll take this number right here, 13.83, and we will add that to our profit number. So 5 plus 13.83. So already we are profiting about $3.8 a day, but really that is not very good. That's a lot less than we were profiting the last time around. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first one being that Xelis is down pretty significantly, 20% in the last 7 days, where a lot of the other coins in my portfolio are about flat. Let's take a look at Xelis because it did have a very interesting month. You can see that it started the month at about $12, and unfortunately it's just been kind of a slow sink since then. And there was some issues with the hard fork this past week, which also is probably contributing to the price. But I still remain incredibly faithful that Xelis is going to be an amazing coin in this upcoming bull run. So the good news is that crypto mining is not my only source of passive income through crypto. I also run some AI trading bots through the Pionex exchange, and they've been insanely profitable. They actually profited more than my mining farm this past year. I just did a video on it early this week that I'll have in the description. So in that video, I cashed out $172 of raw earnings for last month, but I also have more because that video did not really account for the entire month of December. So if I go in here and cash out my bots again, today is only January 3rd, so most of this is from December. If I go to release profit in all grid trading bots, you can see I have another $45 sitting in here. So let's just say $200 of that came in December. So that means we're almost making $7 a day on the AI trading bots in the month of December. So let's add that rough $7 number to our profitability right here, plus 7. And we can see that we are making $25.83 per day in passive income. Then we have to subtract our 15.312, which is our power cost, which gives us a daily profit of $10.5 or about $300 per month, which honestly is pretty nice. So in the past, I also had a Neoxa node that was earning me earnings that I could add to my daily income, but the time finally came and I did sell my Neoxa for a significant loss. There was a lot of debate between me and the community and also me internally if I was going to sell those coins. Obviously, you never want to sell at the bottom. That's the worst thing that you can do. But there was a couple reasons that I did sell my Neoxa. So let's quickly take a look at last month's video to see how much Neoxa I had. And you can see that it was about $853. When I sold it, it was only about $700. And in that video, I was down $2,400. So basically, I was down about $2,500 on my Neoxa when I sold it. But the reason I sold it was because it was December 31st, and basically I wanted to tax loss harvest. I wanted to lock in those capital losses so I could offset some capital gains. And that alone saved me basically $700 in taxes, which makes that maybe not a $2,500 loss, but maybe more like $1,800 loss. And then you factor in the couple $100 of node rewards that I sold over the past year. It really comes out to be maybe only a $1,500 loss, which, don't get me wrong, is still my absolute worst financial move that I made this year. And I'm sure now that I sold, Neoxa will go flying. So if you are a Neoxa holder, congratulations in advance. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the new portfolio, because with the Neoxa gone, I did a lot of interesting stuff with that $800 that I sold. So let's take a quick look at the pie chart. I always find this super interesting. Bitcoin is now 57% of my portfolio, a very healthy portion and percentage of it. It used to only be like 20%, and I always recommend people probably keep at least 50% in Bitcoin, the big dog. Otherwise, your portfolio is just extremely risky. Now, obviously, this is not financial advice, and I personally tend to stay away from risk, but that's just what I do. So next up on the list, we have Xelis, which I've been steadily accumulating. This says 90 Xelis, but it's actually more like 100 Xelis. So if anyone's wondering how I keep this up to date, I just add it manually like this every so often, and I use the market price, and then I add transaction. So for Xelis specifically, we have 100 Xelis for $678. Unfortunately, that was like $1,300 at the beginning of the month like we showed earlier, but that's okay because a lot of the crypto market has been down over the past month. If we look at our portfolio in general, the performance over the past month, we actually got up to $9,836 and then has steadily been dropping over the past month to the point where we're at $8,550 right now. So before we look at the rest of the coins, let's take a look at this just base number as a whole. That's a pretty nice number. We are basically 75% of the way towards paying off our $12,000 mining farm investment. And keep in mind that I did not spend $12,000 on January 1st. That was spread out significantly across the year, where I would almost say that $5,000 of it came probably after July. So definitely if we had had all $12,000 of hardware running since January 1st, then we would have already basically made back our money. Granted, that isn't accounting for power. So let's continue looking at the coins because like I mentioned, I sold my Neoxa, but I bought some interesting stuff with it. Alephium still sitting at third, 436 Alephium for $600. Caspa, about 4,000 Caspa for $500. Aleo coming in at my, sixth biggest holding, 300 Aleo. Aleo's had a rough time of it the last few months as well, down 12% the last 7 days, but it's down much worse than that over the past few months. So let's talk about the coins that I bought with my sold Neoxa. I bought about $60 worth of Chlor, so we're now at 153 Chlor or 1,700 Chlor. I bought about $100 worth of Zephyr. So instead of only having the like $20 that I CPU mined, I now have a nice bag of $123 worth of Zephyr. And that's because I think Zephyr has insane potential as a project. Its previous all-time high is $50, which is nearly a, 40x from where it's at right now, which is basically bigger than almost all the other coins I have on my list. NurAI is another coin. I spent $100 of my Neoxa money and bought $100 of NurAI. I spent a little bit on Neoxa, and then the rest of it, I believe I just bought Bitcoin with. So that's what the portfolio looks like. We're getting closer and closer to finally breaking even on all this hardware, which is going to be awesome. If you're curious when I'm going to start selling these GPU mining rewards, check out this video on your way out where I walk through my entire plan on selling during altcoin season. So I'll see you guys next time. As always, thank you for watching.